Hello everyone, welcome to the Coed Man2Man defense presentation. Man-to-man defense utilizes good technique and is more physically demanding than zone defense, but if executed correctly, it can be far superior than the typical zone defense. It is a fact most teams in this league use the zone defense, and it is thereby no surprise that games are typically high-scoring contests. With man-to-man defense, however, every receiver has an assigned defender, and the result can be a top-tier defense. For Coed, we want our matchups to be gender-specific, so girls will cover girls, guys will cover guys. Within that, we will try to find the best matchups that put our players in an advantageous position. Man-to-man requires defenders to run with the person they're covering over the entire field, so speed, quickness, and the ability to read the receiver's route all determine just how effective an individual defender will be at executing this defense correctly. So just looking at the base play, our alignment is a 3-2-2 defense. We have 3 girls up front, followed by 2 male linebackers and 2 safeties. Now, our man-to-man defense is mostly man-to-man because there are some zone aspects, but those zone aspects are for the males only. When we talk about proper alignment, there are 2 main aspects to consider: vertical alignment and lateral alignment. With vertical alignment, it'll pretty much always be the same, with girls at about 3 to 5 yards, guy linebackers at about 5 to 7 yards, and guy safeties at about 10 to 15 yards. Now this can change depending on down and distance or other factors, but it's pretty typically the same. The lateral alignment, however, can vary incredibly depending on how the offense is aligned. If they're balanced, we'll look balanced. If they're stacked to one side, we have to stack accordingly. No matter how an offense is aligned, we always want to align our defenders to the inside shoulder of their receiver. That way, if the receiver tries to cross the field, we already have a few steps on him. If this receiver wants to go to the outside, away from the quarterback, our defender has more time to adjust and get over and cover the distance. The middle linebacker, who's playing directly over the center opposing team, will pretty much always play directly over the top. At the beginning of the play, everyone has a base assignment, which is everyone should be lined up as essentially 1-to-1 with an opposing receiver. The girls' defensive assignments are really straightforward. Identify who you are covering, take position and align properly, and don't let them catch the ball. Sometimes that's easier said than done, but as long as you're within a yard or 2 of your assigned receiver, generally the opposing QB will not throw the ball to them and will try to find someone more open. A good way to do this is to always try to stay ahead of your receiver's pass so that you can see what route they are running, and if the QB is looking at them. You never want to lose a receiver, and by that I mean you don't want to stare at the QB while the receiver you're assigned runs behind you to the point where you don't know where they are. If the receiver isn't looking for the ball, most likely the QB isn't going to throw it to them, so keep an eye on the receiver, figure out what they are trying to do, and try to disrupt it. The zone aspect of this defense is for guys only, and it comes into play when we make defensive assignment switches. It starts up front with our guy linebackers, who align on the inside shoulders of the slot receivers, but have to key both the slot and the wideout on their side of the field. The linebackers read the slot and the wideout to determine which one is running the shorter route, and then they pounce on them, leaving the safety on their respective side to pick up the deeper route. The safeties essentially just read who the linebacker is covering and then pick up the receiver the linebacker didn't. In addition to that, if opposing receivers run crossing routes or routes with double moves, our guy defenders can switch their defensive assignments mid-play. For example, in the picture on the right, both linebackers first identify that the slots are running quick slants and decide to leave the wideouts to the safeties. However, the opposing receivers run crossing routes, so instead of our defenders possibly being outran or screened, our defenders will switch which receiver they are covering and thereby put themselves in a better position to cover the receiver that is now crossing onto their side. The strengths of man-to-man are that 1, it's easy to understand. Defenders line up against receivers and cover them to prevent them from catching the ball. If they do happen to make a catch, the defender should be right there to make the tackle. Ideally, all throws will be contested and any catches will be tackled almost immediately, preventing long runs after the catch. And 2, everyone is covered. Each receiver has an assigned defender, so unlike zone, you'll never have 2 to 3 receivers who are all your responsibility. Furthermore, because of our starting alignment, our defense is disguised, and we take away a lot of the immediate short routes. The weak spots of man-to-man are that 1, it can be physically exhausting. 2, good quarterbacks and receivers can exploit the coverage with pump fakes and double moves. 3, if we don't have a favorable matchup, that can be exploited for big gains, crucial first downs, and even one-play touchdown drives. And lastly, 4, if a defender is caught on the wrong side of a crossing route, the QB can take advantage and make an easy completion. So just to hammer this point in, why do we shade to the inside? Because even against people of equal speed, if they simply cut towards the middle, they have the entire field to get away from you. So to recap, we start in a base 3-2-2 formation with inside alignment. Our coverage is gender specific, and we maintain a 1-to-1 defender to receiver ratio. Guys have a zone aspect in this defense where they need to read the receivers on their side to keep which one they will cover, and after only a few seconds, every receiver should have a defender on them for the rest of the play. All passes should be contested, and anything caught should be tackled almost immediately. This defense is susceptible to crossing routes and double moves, so be cautious with them. Thank you for participating in the Coed Man2Man defense presentation. Please email, text, or Facebook me with any questions you might have.